This is the latest commission I've made for Rick. It's for a MegaDrive Genesis handheld portable system. The case was made as per the N64 system with one of these Game Boy Advanced organizers. Nice strong sturdy case, and for the case of the MegaDrive it's quite handy because you don't have a lot of holes to cut out. You can utilize most of the area from the D-pad, and of course the MegaDrive uses 3 buttons, so these being the main 2 and the third one I mounted above it, the C button. So I'll walk around of the handheld portable as we've got it. I was originally going to use this, of course, as a reset button. Of course, there is only the EverDrive system in it anyway. So what I've done instead is just to use this as a menu button, where you can then adjust the screen brightness and contrast, etc. if you wish to. It's the main start button, of course. What I've done here for the console board is to use a Genesis 3 clone. It is a sort of official Sega clone, but it is a much smaller motherboard than the regular ones, and it's also compatible with the EverDrive, which is built into the system. So the main 3 buttons, these were actually taken from a MegaDrive clone controller, because the buttons fit in nicely and they're all flat at the top. So we've got the A, B and C here. The Genesis 3 is only a mono audio. So yes, we've got the 2 speakers here, but they're both working on the mono. D-pad, of course. Around the back, the main system on off, the audio adjustment, and this of course is for working off the transformer and also for charging up the batteries. More on that in just a moment. This is the switch to select working between batteries and the transformer. So I'll cover that in slightly more detail as to the whys and wherefores. Let's open this up first of all. There we go. And open up the hood. So that switch we were talking about is up here. The way it's been organised is that when it's in the up position it will run off the batteries, and the down it will work off the mains, so therefore you're not running off both at the same time by mistake. If it's running off the mains, whether the system is on or off, it will recharge the batteries. We've got 2 lithium batteries on the side here, so combined make about 4.5 amps at around 7.4 volts. So of course the protection circuit will cut out when it gets to about 6.8 and fully charged up to 8.4. That's well within the workings of the system. The screen, which is a car reverse screen, will operate between about 7 and 12 volts, no issues there. The audio amp is 5 volts only, so I put in a 7805 next to it to provide it with a stable 5 volts. The charger, however, needs 12 to 24 volts, so I put in a step-up regulator so that whether it's working off the batteries or the 7.4 volt transformer, it will still step it up to 12, so then this circuit can work. When the batteries are charging, of course, this light will be red. When they charge, they will go to green. There's the EverDrive card in here. It's one of the clones. I'm not sure if it's Chinese. I'm not too familiar with these MegaDrive EverDrive cards, but because they can fail sometimes, I've made it so that it can be replaced by putting this cartridge connector onto it. I've incorporated an SD card, half a gig card, so you could store probably a couple of 100 games on it, probably more than most collections of good MegaDrive games. There's the low voltage LED connector here, just that it will illuminate the red light either when the system is first turned on, or of course when the battery gets a bit too low. That's the controller board. Could have reduced it down to basically the size of the chip. There's just a few resistors on it, but that's small enough to achieve what I needed to do. And that basically is the system. It's all connected in quite well. Stereo speakers as mentioned, even though it's mono. And of course you just close the system up, put these things on, and you're off. So as we're running this off battery power, that switch is already up. All I need to do now is to turn it on. There we go, quick red flash, as always happens. I believe that this particular MegaDrive does something with an ARM processor or something that loads a game into the system, but irrespectively, you can select the game from here, and then it loads into memory. So next time, if you wanted to, just to go back to the menu, if you just played the game, you want to play the same again, when you boot it up, just press that. But in our case, I'm going to select the Hellfire. It's a good button, a good game to show the various buttons. And this was so we're not quite sure how this varies against other MegaDrives, but this one loads up the small game, takes a few seconds to do it, and then it runs it. Volume control, loud. Of course, if you want to, down to about there, it's probably quite a good level to do video. Image screen is pretty good, as you can see here. So there's good control. Never particularly good at these sorts of games, but you had a reasonable distance in them. So anyway, the A button is obviously the one we're using here. The B one, there we go, and the C. So that's all the buttons that there are with this system. And as you see, the D-pad's quite good. I've got quite sort of large hands, quite sort of fat fingers, so I can have a tendency of pressing the D-pad in slightly the wrong place, but that's my fault, not the system. But the view is, if I can show the game working at a reasonable level, then clearly the system's working absolutely fine. So I'll just play it for slightly longer until I lose my life. Oh, there we go. Anyway, as you see, the system works great. Image quality is good. Audio, as I mentioned, sounds pretty clear. So, thank you for watching.